The Wii U is a very forgettable console because it's one of the rare times Nintendo blew it. You blew it, Nintendo! It followed up one of the biggest consoles ever, but it never became the smash hit it could have been. Today we're going to tell you about some of the things Nintendo could have done to fix that. Before we begin, subscribe to TheGamer and ring that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss a video. Without further ado, here are some awesome features Nintendo never released on Wii U. GTA 5. Something which has always helped Nintendo stand out from the crowd is the way it's worked with other third-party developers. Even back in the 80s, the NES and its official Nintendo seal of approval meant people who weren't Nintendo were able to develop games for it. These games ended up becoming classics and helped drive sales of the flagship 8-bit system. Going forward, every one of Nintendo's consoles has some third-party greats going on. This meant there was a great bit of teamwork going on. Yes, you could play these other games on other systems, but if you had these other systems, it meant you couldn't play the awesome games Nintendo was coming out with too. If you had a Nintendo console though, you could play both, which meant you had the best of both worlds. Moving into the early 2010s and the era of the Wii U, there was one third-party franchise everyone wanted a slice of. Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto series had revolutionized the industry ever since the first one came out in 1997. It was the cool kid on the video game market because it appeared to older gamers than the other games that have come before it. Sure, use of their adult themes and language made them rather controversial, but as they say, money talks, and GTA was talking louder than anyone else. So it would have made sense in 2013 for Grand Theft Auto 5 to have been released on the Wii U. After all, it wasn't like Rockstar hadn't put out games for Nintendo consoles before. The satirical masterpiece Bully, or Canis Canem Edit, if you were in the UK, was released for the Wii, as was the vomit-inducingly gory Manhunt 2, and bizarrely, Table Tennis, which wasn't nearly as violent. I'm not sure why. Going back, the first two GTA games had been ported onto the Game Boy Color. Perhaps the crowning crossover, though, was GTA Chinatown Wars for the Nintendo DS. This was Rockstar doing what it did best and doing it exclusively for Nintendo gamers. It wasn't like Rockstar hadn't worked with Nintendo, but maybe their games were a bit too adult for the kid-friendly Japanese company. Sometimes Nintendo is lame, so instead, Wii U players went without GTA 5. This was because there was a standoff between Nintendo and Rockstar's owners, Take-Two, over the payment of licensing rights. Even though there was a prototype of GTA made for the Wii U, the final product was never made, meaning gamers had to go elsewhere. It's a shame, because it would have been amazing to play GTA 5 on the Wii U, and when you think how many copies of the games have been sold, it would have made it rain for both Nintendo and Rockstar. Better marketing. When Nintendo released the Wii in 2006, everyone took notice. When we say everyone, we mean everyone and their mom too. This wasn't just something that was a big hit with gamers and went unnoticed by the rest of the world. No. Hero is a console which was designed for both people who love the games and, crucially, people who didn't play them at all. Yeah, old people played it too, and bought all of the accessories. After all, it was one thing to sit around on your couch and play games, but it was quite another thing to get up out of your seat and play while moving around. This was the holy grail of console gaming, something which would appeal to the entire family and create a whole new market for gamers, and annoy hardcore gamers everywhere. This was backed by a smart marketing campaign, which showed families actually playing the games with the Wii U remote. It was also linked to the Wii Fit exercise kit and helped people get active. This was something Nintendo was keen to promote, and they did it well. If you were watching adverts, and chances were you were, then you would have seen some idea of what the Wii was, what the Wii did, and crucially, how it was different from other gaming systems. Move on 6 years to 2012 though, and you'll have noticed confusion among less than hardcore gamers who love their Wiis. Sure, there was a new gamepad thingy that we were told in the adverts was a whole new way to play, but it wasn't clear what it actually did. It was unclear whether this was a new accessory, whether it was an updated version of the console, like the Wii Family Edition or the Wii Mini, or whether it was a whole new gaming system. Now, us dedicated gamers knew it was the latter, but honestly, we can't blame the average Wii owner for being confused. Nintendo, explain please. If Nintendo had just taken a step back and thought things through, it could have been a lot different. It might have been something as simple as choosing a different name. The Wii U sounds a bit unclear, especially coming as it did after the Wii Mini. Had they called it the Wii HD, that would have indicated it was new, upgraded thing. Had they called it the Wii 2, that might have shown it was a follow-up as well. Had they come back to their roots and called it the Super Wii, even that would have worked. The Wii U just makes it sound like an add-on or something. As it was, the Wii U was marketed in an ambiguous way, meaning it ended up selling slowly and not quite getting the success it deserved. You got greedy, Nintendo. Portability. If there's one thing people know about the Nintendo Wii U, is that it's the system which came in between the Nintendo Wii and the Nintendo Switch. If there's one thing about the Nintendo Switch, is that it's rad and extremely popular. If you want to know why, well, there's the usual reasons. And we're sure you probably know, Nintendo is the sort of company that does things other companies shy away from. When it comes to delivering a gaming system which has the best games, Nintendo is the first party master, and when it comes to creating something which rides the zeitgeist, Nintendo does that too. Well, ain't that a fancy word? Just Google it. The Switch is the first true hybrid console in gaming. No, it's not half electric, half gas, but it could be played at home or on the go, kind of like a giant smartphone, or phablet, as the kids call them. What the hell is a phablet? While the DS series is great fun, it isn't quite as powerful as the Nintendo Switch is. The Switch takes the hottest graphics and sounds and puts them wherever you are. If you're out and about, no worries, you can play there, but if you're back at home, you can ramp things up by docking it with the TV, just like a traditional gaming console. Now, this hybrid console is a brand new thing, but we think it could have happened sooner. When the Nintendo Wii U came out, its big deal was its controller, which allowed games, or at least parts of games, to be played without having to look at the TV screen, because there was a screen right there on the gamepad. When this worked, it was awesome, but it didn't work with every game because the Wii U was stupid. Sorry, Nintendo, but it was stupid. Stupid. Despite the way the pad was shaped, there was one big problem. You couldn't go too far from the console. If you wanted to go into another room to play the game, then you were out of luck. This meant there was no real portability with the Wii U. All Nintendo needed to do was make the gamepad capable of downloading game data. This would allow you to play it anywhere you go. Now, we're not complaining because we love the Switch, but it's this outside-of-the-box thinking that could have made the Wii U a success. It could have revolutionized the way people played it, and in turn, have given sales the sort of boost the Switch has had. Nintendo, you taking note yet? Because, we got ideas. Better online. It all used to be so simple. You would go to a shop, almost certainly a specialist game shop. You see a game you liked, you bought it, you took it home and played it. If you want to get in on any two-player mode, then you have to invite a friend over, or hope your bro wants to play as Tails in Sonic the Hedgehog. Come on, Tails is kind of cooler, Either way, you had to know someone who'd want to play the game with you, otherwise it was single-player mode for you. This, of course, all changed with the internet. Smart gaming companies realized they could combine people's love for taking on another human being at a game with the latest technology, and all of a sudden, you weren't limited to who you knew personally. Now you could play whoever you wanted, whenever you wanted, and you could let them know all about the things you did to their mom last night through game chat. Hey, that's just inappropriate. It didn't matter if no one you knew was able to come by because someone online was eager to challenge you with equally annoying insults. It also didn't matter if it was a ridiculous hour in the nighttime because, hey, it's called the World Wide Web for a reason. It's 8 p.m. somewhere for everybody. Gamers rejoiced, competitive gaming took off, and games you wouldn't have even thought of as being more than one player became gigantic online extravaganzas. Now, while it was initially the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 which online players gravitated towards, that didn't mean Nintendo didn't want to get in on the action and grab themselves a piece of the pie. No, they did, and when the Wii U came out, they didn't hold back. Despite the company's previous successes, what happened with the Wii U's online aspect was, while not a failure, something which could have definitely gone better. The problems were twofold. Firstly, when Nintendo first had dipped its toes into the waters of online gameplay, back in the era of the Wii and DS, it was almost like it wasn't sure what to do. Where am I? What's my name? There was a lack of voice chat, which was what a lot of online PlayStation, PC, and Xbox players use, as well as friend codes being harder to type in than a single username. This meant that when the Wii U was launched, Nintendo was still playing catch-up, which isn't the sort of position you'd think it to find itself in. The second problem was Nintendo being cautious about something, which might have lost its family-friendly image. We think an age verification system would have been a good idea, no? Older players could have used this to play against their peers while leaving younger gamers unharmed by adult themes and language. Earmuffs, kids. If it had happened, it would have helped the Wii U, that's for sure. Controller confusion. Until someone works out a way for you to play a game using the power of your mind, if you're a gamer, you're stuck with using a controller of some form or another when you play. For most of gaming history, controllers have come in two forms. There's the directional pad with a few buttons, or the dual analog sticks with a bit more buttons. Of course, since the mid-90s, some controllers have had both, but the same principle applies. The Wii U took this and flipped it on its head. With motion controls, while you had to have a controller, it didn't really matter about control pads or joysticks because you were playing with your actual arms. Yes, the Wii Remote changed things up, which meant when the Wii U was announced, we thought one thing. Well, we thought two things actually. The first one was, what the heck is a Wii U? Is it an educational device or something? The second one was, how will we control it? We hope there's an updated Wii remote. Those things were mega. Did we get a new Wii remote? Well, sort of, but it wasn't the main controller. As you might know, the main controller was the Wii U gamepad, which fell under the I can't believe it's not a tablet subgenre of controllers. Although it looked cool, it wasn't very good when it came to multiplayer games or for playing Wii games, since the Wii U was backwards compatible. No, what you wanted for that was your old Wii remote. Alternatively, you could have shelled out for this new upgraded Wii Remote Plus, which was a specially upgraded Wii remote for the Wii U, with some extra buttons and such. On the other hand, the game you might have wanted to play with the remote might have required two-handed gameplay, which meant you had to remember your nunchucks, Michelangelo style. The Ninja Turtle, not the painter. What up, Mikey? Alternatively, you might have been someone who skipped the Wii entirely and came to the Wii U new and clean and confused by your options. Well, if you found the new pads too difficult to cross over to, you were in luck, because you could have used the Wii Pro controller, unless you were playing a game which didn't support it, in which case you might have wanted the Wii Classic controller, unless you were playing Super Smash Bros., when you could dig through your cupboards until you found your GameCube controller. Confused yet? Well, we were too, but we don't think we could have been the only people to feel that way. In all seriousness, no one was ever sure which controller worked with which game, so Nintendo really should have given us one controller which worked with everything. Complicated solution? Not really, Nintendo! Well, there you have it. What's your favorite missing Wii U feature? Did we leave any good ones out? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Gamer for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.